Good morning, Mark and Deborah. I just wanted to do a quick walk through the garden. With luck, you guys are back from Wyoming. Um, the right things are going great. I will say right off the bat that I'm seeing a little evidence that we're not quite getting as much water as I'd like into places. So I've upped the frequency of some of the waterings, especially on this side of the garden. It We might want to see about cleaning out that filter. I think was one of the ideas from a little while ago. But I'm still losing water pressure after kind of running the hose for a minute or two, and that might be affecting some of the plants. I'm sure it's affecting some of the plants. That said, right, a lot to harvest right now. Some of the flowers left over from last year, the echinops here, the bees are loving it and are a great way to attract the pollinators to the garden. That said, harvest and bring inside, use as a cutting garden as much as you'd like. Same thing with the marigolds right next to them. The kale down here is in great shape and ready to harvest. Just break off those lower leaves, and as long as you leave, I'm going to say 6 or 7 of the smaller leaves right at the very top, you can strip them right down. Right next to it, I'm reseeding some carrots for the fall. We're putting the shade cloth over it just to help with that initial germination, help hold moisture in the soil and get those guys up and going. The tomatoes along the back are coming in well. These are the guys where I'm seeing a little bit of just water stress on them. You'll notice that with some of the larger tomatoes, they have what we call cat facing, which is just sort of like deep lumps in the bottom side of them. And that's usually a sign that, that they're not getting as much water or as consistent water as they would like. Which is why we're upping the irrigation to try to address that. That said, it's not going to affect the flavor at all. So, or safety or anything of it. So still enjoy those tomatoes as they ripen. The carrots right now are ready to pull out and harvest. There's a ton of good ones in there. So get right in there and pull. You could pull the whole batch if you wanted. You don't have to. You can pull it as you want to eat them, and that's fine. They'll store in the ground well. But let's try to get them all out before the middle of August or so, before they'll start to get tough and starchy instead of sweet. The lovage right next to them are doing great. And down the middle, these are the leeks, and the leeks are sizing up well too. So at any point, go ahead and pop out some of those leeks. Kind of start with the big chunky ones and work your way down from there. Celery's also doing well. It looks like our rabbit nibbled on a little of them, but in general, they're doing great. We're starting to form kind of nice, good stalks in here, and so you can either cut the whole thing off the base and take it in as a bunch, or just harvest some of those outer stems and they'll keep on growing and doing well. On the far side of it, the shallots are also coming in nicely, so our first ones are ready to go. Any that have bulbed a little bit like these guys, go ahead and pop them out. Leave the smaller ones to keep on coming over the next few weeks. Right next to them, we've got some green beans coming in, so go ahead and strip those green beans and eat them. They're just amazing fresh. Back here, the potatoes are starting to go down, which is great. So go ahead and dig underneath them, and we start to have some of those smaller potatoes ready. Some of them, like these guys, are going to be the blue and purple ones, but we also have some rose fin apples in there and things like that. So there'll be a few different colors, and are just fantastic, and are especially good right now before they form kind of a big, hard, tough skin to protect them through the winter. They won't store as long, so eat them, over the course of a week or two, but don't try to tuck them away for January. In front of them, the onions are coming in nicely. We're going to wait until these stems start to kind of flop over before we start eating them. But as soon as they do, they're getting close. Some of these guys right here are just starting to. But as those stems start flopping over, that's when we'll really try to... They're finished bulbing up and finish, filling that bowl with sugars, making them just right. Over here, right, the zucchini's doing well, and the summer squash behind it. Keep an eye on them for zucchinis. As soon as they kind of get, I sort of like them in this. Right now, this guy's probably 4 inches long, but I like them when they get a little bit larger than that, 6 or 8 inches. If I can, I try to harvest them before they get too big, just so they don't get starchy. But if you like making banana bread, you might let them get nice and huge so that you get a lot of banana bread out of it. The Market More cucumbers are doing well. I left a big handful in the fridge, as well as some of the piccolinos. The piccolinos have the smoother, more delicate skin, and the Market Mores have a darker green, tougher skin, but are a little bit larger as well. Enjoy those. Again, make sure you grab the ones out of the fridge, but there's still more coming in the garden. There's gonna be lots of these guys as we go along. In the back over here, the radicchios. Let's see if I can. Let's see if we can sneak inside and look underneath the hood. So the radicchios over here have headed up really nicely. Go ahead and cut those guys right off at ground level and take that head and start cooking with it. Start using those guys. They're in just perfect shape right now. On the other side, I'm seeding some more radishes, some spinach, some bok choy. We've got some more onions in here as well. These ones were coming a little bit later, so I'm not expecting these ones to be ready for another 3 weeks or so. But behind them, we've got some of that Nancy lettuce, that butter crunch lettuce. Again, I'd probably give these guys a week or two before, they've set like a nice head on them. That said, on the far side, so as we're walking in, I'm now on the right-hand side. We've got some nice, good heads of romaine lettuce to pull from. And then down at the far end, this is that Mir lettuce. So this is a Batavian type that does really well in the summer heat, and they're fantastic. Super crunchy, just wonderful. Go ahead and pop those whole heads off. They are ready to eat right now. And then right behind them, we've got a little bit of spinach underneath the hood too. So go ahead and grab those guys. If you have any trouble with the shade cloth over the top, just remember these little clips right here. If you squeeze the handle together, then you can just slide the pin out of the hole here. And I usually take this wire and hang it right up on the fence behind them. And then you can pull the shade cloth off. Again, shade cloth is just trying to combat this heat right now. But in general, things are doing very well. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email. Happy to help. I think that's all we got for today.